Hello, everyone. Good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you might be. I am really excited about this. I am going live today. Haven't been live in a while, so hello. And I've had so many questions about Outschool lately. I thought I'm just going to get on here and answer them. If anybody shows up live with me, if you're here with me live, comment, say hello. Let me know you're here and drop any questions that you might have. I told people I was doing this ahead of time, so I did have some questions sent in. People are dropping kids off at school or teaching classes and couldn't be here for the live. And so when they come back and our team replay, I want to be able to have their questions answered. So I've got those ready as well. I've got my phone, like email, Instagram messages. I've got all those ready. So if you're here, say hello, drop your comments and questions, and let me know what ask me anything. Do I have all the answers? Probably not, but I'd love to try. And if anyone is interested in joining me on the screen, I haven't tried that really with a live video before, so that would be fun to try. So let me know if you'd like to try that. But I'm going to jump right into it and answer the questions that I got ahead of time, so at least those get taken care of. Okay, so one of the most frequent questions I received was, what is the difference between a multi-day class and an ongoing class on Outschool? So on Outschool, if you don't know, on Outschool, it's an online teaching platform, and you can teach basically whatever you want. Your class has to get approved. You've got to have some background to teach it, but whatever that is, you can teach it. So a multi-day class, here are the main differences. Both meet more than once, right? You can just do a one-time class where you teach the same thing over and over to different groups of students. But a multi-day class and an ongoing class, you have multiple sessions. With a multi-day class, think you could do your semester classes this way, where you meet once a week, twice a week, however often, for multiple times. But there's a beginning date and there's a definite end date. You have a definite length in time that you have scheduled, and your content typically builds on each other. So this would be if you were learning math skills and they needed the previous lessons to be able to move forward. They needed that prior knowledge. That's going to be a multi-day class. It starts, it definitely has an end date, and you're building content as you go. Novel studies, lots of different things you can do. Let's see. Oh, I see somebody's jumped in. Good morning. It's Karen. Good morning, Karen. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Seriously, any questions you have about Outschool, I want to hear them. Okay, so multi-day, we've talked about. An ongoing class, you want to think more of like a subscription where kids can jump in and out as they feel like it every week. So each week, say you meet every Tuesday at 9 a.m., that's great, and you can be covering the same theme. Maybe you're doing a preschool class with a letter of the week, or maybe you are talking about a series of books that you really enjoy, or maybe you're doing art together. But it's got to be different each week so that if a kid can come one week, can't come the next week, and then wants to jump back in, they haven't missed anything. They don't need that previous class to know what you're doing that week. So each week has to be a standalone class, but they can be connected in theme. So maybe you want to do paper crafting class, and this week we're going to make flowers, and this week we're going to make a box, and this week we're going to do an origami type thing. You can do each of those. It's all paper crafts. The supplies are similar, but they can come one week and not come the next, and then come again, and they can still participate. There's nothing that they miss that they need to know ahead of time. So that's the main difference. Multi-day usually builds and ends at a certain time. Ongoing could go for as long as you want to teach it, as long as students are signing up for it. There doesn't have to be an end date, and it's something new. Now you can repeat what you do. You can do something for maybe 4 weeks, as each week is different, and then repeat it. You would just list it in your description. You know, this week we're doing this week we're doing this, and then we're going to repeat and do the same things again. So that's also an option. Okay, I'm getting back to my questions. Let me know in the chat if you have any as well, but I'm going to make sure these get answered too. I love this one. If you could pass off a task related to Outschool teaching, what would it be? This is more like a personal question about Outschool. Okay, if I could pass off any task in teaching on Outschool, it might be just scheduling my flex class posts, because I would still create the posts. I still have the content and know what I want to say each week. But just the process of like scheduling those out for the week would be great if someone else would do that for me. And then I would just come in and check and make sure, see how everybody's doing and interact, but not like scheduling the posts. I think that's what I would delegate, because I love the teaching. I love the curriculum creation. I love all of it. I really like all of it. Just the little ticky stuff about scheduling posts. Okay. Okay, Karen says, can I offer my ongoing class as a multi-day class also? And if so, can I use the same title? So yes and no. Yes, you can, because if you're doing something like you have 4 weeks of content and you just repeat it, and that would be a good standalone multi-day class, maybe once a week for 4 weeks or however you want to do it. Yes, that can be a multi-day class. You just start it, you do whatever content you have, you end it, right? So that's a perfect idea for a multi-day class. As far as the title, you would want to differentiate a little bit, maybe even say ongoing in your ongoing class title. And, you wouldn't need to say multi-day, but I would at least differentiate by one of them stating how it's different. It's an ongoing class. I also would differentiate with your image, because that way people go, oh, I want this class that meets for 4 weeks and that's it. And they know that the picture is a certain color overall or has certain things on it. Whereas the ongoing would look a little bit different. So, and I've done something similar. You can do a one-time class where you offer just a piece of a bigger class. And then, hey, if you like this, here's my multi-day class that's similar. And they can sign up for that. And so the images look a little different, maybe different color themed, so they stand out in that way. And just you want to differentiate in some way so they know they're signing up for the right one. And when you do your 1-sentence summary, I lead with, in this ongoing class or in this 4-week class, or however it is you list it. You want to be very clear at the very beginning, because they see the title and then they see that 1-sentence summary with your image. That's the first thing they're going to see. So if it's very clear up front, I think that should be fine. And I think it's a great idea to have multiple versions of the same class, because some people love to jump in and out each week. And some people want that 4-week session to know they've got something to look forward to each week. And money-wise, some people can only pay for the one class, and some people can chunk it all out for the 4-week session. So yes, I think that's a great idea. I say do it. I think you can also pull a one-time class out of that, probably, if you just want to pick one of your class topics and offer it as a one-time class. And then if they like it, be like, hey, if you enjoyed that, come check this one out. It's so fun. We do even more. And that gets them, that gets you those repeat students, building your client base, which is fantastic. Okay. One of the other questions that I got from somebody ahead of time with, I think it was through Instagram, was about flex classes, which we've talked a lot about flex classes lately in our Navigating Outschool group on Facebook, which, by the way, if you're not in that, I'm going to make sure the link is in the description, but you want to join our Navigating Outschool Facebook group. It is for any and everyone, whether you are applying and wanting to get going, or you are already a teacher and just want the support of the community. We've got over 500 people in our community now. I think we're close to 550, and we've got challenges and workshops and just lots of fun stuff. I'm really excited about it. So I am an admin in there with Serena Cooper from Sincerely Serena and Skyla Post from Skyla's Posts. And it's a blast. I love it. So anyway, we've talked a lot about flex classes lately within that group, and we are doing a workshop coming up soon in this month, February 24th, about flex classes. But someone was asking about how long they have to be as far as the duration of the class on the calendar, not like your videos or anything. So they recently made changes to the requirements for flex classes. And if you haven't checked that out, you need to. But mostly they're wanting more interaction between teacher and student. And then they're wanting more interaction between student and student within that flex class, because there's no live meetings. And so you've got to provide ways for them to interact. And we'll go over a lot of that in our workshop. But the flex class itself has to be at least 4 weeks. Okay, you can't just do a 1-week flex class. And I have not seen, when they updated the description, I don't see that written in the updated version anymore. But when you go to list a flex class, you can't do anything less than 4 weeks. So I'm wondering if it just got omitted and they haven't stuck it back in yet. At the time of filming this, it is February 5th, 2021. It is still a 4-week minimum for flex classes. And you can go longer than that, but it has to be at least that long because there needs to be enough content for you to be leading them with videos and games and using different apps and all the things. So I'm very excited because I'm about to start, hopefully, integrating Kahoot into one of my classes. I'm very excited to get into that. And if you use Kahoot, I would love to hear about it and how you use it and how you like it. My kids love it, like my own kids. When they do it for school, they love it. So I definitely want to plug that in. All right, Karen, I see you. Let me see what you got. I've branded my kindergarten classes sort of as kindergarten craze. That's fun. Look at you and your alliteration. I love it. Practice with animal friends. That's so fun. Animals are always fun. So maybe you could title Kindergarten Craze. Something else. Yes, for sure. You can use, the same theme of what you're doing, the same type of title, and just vary it so that they know what the difference is between your classes. Talking with someone else recently, they wanted multiple preschool ongoing classes, and they wanted to be using, Play-Doh or clay or something where the kids can craft and have fun. Yes, you can absolutely do that. And you could have one class where you're just working on numbers and math. You can have another class where you're working on the alphabet. You can have colors. You could totally make different classes out of those. So, and then you could have a one-time class where you only do one of those things. There's just so many options. You've got to think of what your goal is, right? What's the purpose of your class? What time frame do you have to offer it? It's great to think of what the kids need. You also got to look at your own schedule. If you can't meet at the same time every week, don't start an ongoing class if you don't have that ability, because you're not going to be able to maintain it. So, all right, who else is here? Casey's here this morning. Good morning, Casey. We're having our Outschool powwow. Drop any questions that you have in the chat. I'm answering some that were previously submitted as well. So, okay, I'm looking. I hit the one about what I would like to pass off. I hit flex classes briefly. And again, our Facebook group is where you want to be if you want to be part of that workshop. And we talked about multi-day versus ongoing. Somebody else asked, what are the most popular classes on Outschool right now? Listen, that's a loaded question, people. And I get asked it a lot because people want to know what to list. And I get that. I get that you want to know, what am I actually going to be successful with? So the logistical answer for that right now, because of the state of the world and how things are going, ongoing classes are very successful typically because people can jump in and out as needed, and life is very unpredictable in this pandemic right now, right? So like the United States, different schools are doing different things all over the place. Some people are virtual, some people are going, some people are hybrid. The UK recently all went back under lockdown. In Malaysia, they're in lockdown. And so they are more at home and able to take virtual classes. So depending on what time zone you can reach also makes a difference. So kind of keep that in mind. But ongoing classes, just because you can do what you need to do. Flexible classes, I have seen some growth with because they can do them on their own time. They're not required to be there at a certain time for a live class. They can just do the content as needed or as a supporting class. So those have done well. And those one-time classes. And here's my tip right now on one-time classes. If you don't have any learners enrolled at the 24-hour mark before starting, Outschool automatically closes that class. They cancel it. And you'll get a notification, your class has been canceled, you have no one enrolled. But you can go in and uncancel that class. And I highly recommend doing that right now because a lot of people are waiting until the last minute to sign up for classes. It's more like, imagine parents at home with their kids, and it's more like y'all are driving me nuts. What can we do right now? Let's see what's on Outschool. You can take this class, sit down. It's more of that. And if you're a parent, that's not like super far-fetched. You know what I'm talking about. So there's less planning happening in life in general right now, and more like, now what do we do? So those one-time classes that may not fill 24 hours ahead of time, you may end up with 5 learners right at the starting point. So if you are able to be there anyway, even though no one's enrolled, wait until right up until start time. And if you still don't have anybody enrolled, then you close the class like 2 minutes before it starts or something, 5 minutes before. And that's okay because you don't have anybody enrolled. You just cancel it then. But I really suggest you hold off and see if you get any last minute enrollers. Okay, most of my questions, I try to keep these short enough for people that watch the replay that it's not like so much. So if there aren't any more questions in the chat, most of the questions I got were the flex class, multi-day versus ongoing. That was the book. And what should I teach? What type of class should I teach? I got multiples of those, which worked out really well. So if there's no more, if we're good, be sure that you are subscribed to this channel. So when I do go live or new videos come up, you don't miss them. And if this was a helpful video for you, like it, share it. Okay. That way YouTube knows it's a good one and other people can benefit from the advice if it helped you. All right. I'm going to head out. I've got my kids home today doing virtual school. Blessings on all the parents doing virtual school. And we're going to see what we can get done. And I have 5 Outschool classes today. Just pray. Okay. Thanks. All right. Everybody have an awesome Friday. Happy weekend. Happy teaching. And I'll see you in the next one.